Hello, everyone. I am Dr. E. Michelle Mickens, the CEO of Live for Change, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Hashtag Leadership Matters. Now, this would be our third episode, and I am making a slight change. I think that it's going to be more pertinent to what I'm all about, what I do as a leadership development consultant. So, the series is now going to be called Be For Real, hashtag Leaders Matter. Be For Real, hashtag Leaders Matter. Now, real is part of my signature leadership series that's called the Be For Real Leadership Series. Bingo. REAL is an acronym for Reliable, Ethical, Authentic Learner. And so as a spinoff from that name, I thought it would be more appropriate to name the leadership series the Be For Real hashtag Leaders Matter, because I'm all about supporting leaders, giving them tools, giving them tips, giving them whatever it is that's going to help build them up and give them more confidence. And not only that, but give them facts, give them information that's going to help them bring unity in their organization, to bring some continuity into their organization. So let's get started. Today's topic is going to be the SQ quotient. The SQ quotient. Now, let me just back up a little bit. Last month, December 2019, depending on when you see this particular episode, I did a training on inclusive leadership. And in that training, I had an in-depth conversation about social identity and social intelligence. And so recently, I'll say a couple of weeks ago, January 2020, the middle of January 2020, so that would actually be more, last week, the middle of the week before, trying to be more specific. I did another training, and that training was on social intelligence and cultural intelligence. And so I thought I would continue this conversation because there is something that's keeping leaders up at night, right? And among many things, I mean, you pick it. AI is something that leaders are concerned about. The technology, how rapidly technology is changing, and they're scrambling to keep up with the changes in technology. But this has to do with keeping your talent. So what really is one of the top issues, top concerns that keep leaders up at night, it really has to do with retention of their top talent. And so we're going to talk about 5 problems that is causing their top talent to leave the organization. But then we're also going to tap into 5 solutions applying social intelligence, the SQ quotient. One other plug I want to make before we go forward is that I recently published a blog post, and I want to say just a couple of days ago, and the topic is social ability. Social ability. Never underestimate its power. So I want to encourage you to go to www.live4changellc.com/blogs, and you'll see you'll see that blog post there. So let's go ahead and get into the SQ quotient. 5 problems, or 5 reasons why top talent is leaving the organization. One reason is because of a toxic boss. I know many of you all figured it out right away. When you have a toxic boss, or a boss that's a bully, that's an immediate turnoff. And it may not be today, and it may not be tomorrow, but there's a definite chance, a strong chance that you're going to lose your top talent if you or somebody you know is a bullying boss or a toxic boss. And so how do you recognize the signs? These are the types of bosses that really, they are more concerned about delegation and not communication. They're more concerned about you doing what they tell you to do, and they're less concerned about any input that you may have. As a matter of fact, a lot of these types of leaders are really, they're very insecure. And as a result of their insecurity, they have a tendency to dump their issues onto the employee. So that creates a toxic environment. Have you ever been in a situation where the moment that boss comes in the door, it's almost as if you can feel the atmosphere change when they open the door? Oh, I've been in a situation where they came on the floor and immediately they were like, oh boy, here he comes. Woo, I wonder what's the mood today. I mean, you're instantly on alert. You're instantly bracing yourself because you don't know what is going to come flying out of his or her mouth that's instantly going to contaminate the entire floor, the entire works environment, right? So those are the toxic kind of leaders that will, it's almost a guarantee. Your top talent, they're not going to stay there. Doesn't matter how much money they're making, because at the end of the day, people need to feel safe. And it's hard to feel safe when you have that type of a bullying or toxic boss, right? So that's one reason why top talent leaves. Number two, leaders are missing in action. Leaders are missing in action. What do I mean? They show up, but they're not engaged with the people. They will have their meetings, right? Their weekly meetings, their monthly meetings, however they're going to meet with you. But they're missing in action in terms of, there was a time when the door was always open. I don't even know if that's still something that leaders say, the door is always open, because most of the time if the door is open, they're not there, right? They're not accessible. And as a result, you have people that need to know that you are there for them. So MIA, that's a turnoff to top talent. They're gone. They're not going to stay in that type of environment. Number three, disingenuous leader. People know if you're authentic or not. Don't pacify someone. Don't talk down to them, or don't make them feel like you hear them but you're not listening to them, or you wish that they would hurry up. Get to the point. What are you saying? You're wasting my time. You're looking at your watch. You're giving them a look like, Those signs is a turnoff, right? You're bound to lose your good people because they don't want to be mishandled. They don't want to be mistreated. And so if you can't be genuine and authentic, then just be MIA. Number four, you're disengaged. So I mentioned the importance earlier, being engaged, being there. You need to talk to your people. And I don't mean just barking out what they need to do today and what the goals are. I mean, yes, they need to know, what is the organization doing? And even in that, sometimes the leaders aren't guiding the team. They're just telling them what to do, but they're not guiding them in the path of how to get it done. They're just saying, figure it out, get it done. And that's a turnoff. And you're not fully engaged. People need to know that you're going to be there for them. Engagement. Number five, the fifth reason why top talent leaves and they run for the door is if the leader is behaving unethically, or if the leader is behaving badly. And I can elaborate on that, but that in and of itself says volumes, because you put the whole organization at risk, and you put your people at risk if you are the leader and you're not demonstrating what is acceptable and appropriate behavior in the workplace, what is ethical. Those things, there should be a code of ethics, and it needs to spell out what is acceptable and what are the ramifications for inappropriate behavior in the workplace. So those are five, just five. So you know I'm scratching the surface. But those are 5 reasons why your top talent leaves. And it's not you, but it's, it's that other guy that has that problem. Now I'm going to share with you at least 5 solutions using social intelligence. So before I do that, let's talk about what is social intelligence. Social intelligence, according to Edward Thorndike, so in 1920, that just goes to show that this is not a new concept, but I believe that there's a reawakening, a rebirthing, if you will, of being or demonstrating using social intelligence more. So back in 1920, Edward Thorndike came up with the social intelligence theory. He defined social intelligence as the ability to understand and manage men and women, boys and girls, and to act wisely in human relationships. To act wisely in human relationships. So SQ or SI, social intelligence, it's really about getting along with others. And we all think about, isn't that elementary? Shouldn't we all know how to get along with each other? But the truth of the matter is, and I talk a lot about social identity, and for this segment, we won't go into it, but a lot depends on how you were brought up, whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. I'm more of an introvert, and so I do know how to get along with others, but my preference is what? Being by myself. So, and then from a leadership perspective, the introvert is always going to be challenged in how to step out of self. So it's an extra effort. But nevertheless, it's important to know how to get along with others. So it's respecting others, but it's also how to listen and be in tune to others. Have you ever seen anybody walk into a room, or maybe it's you're able to command the room because you're stepping in. Not only are you confident in yourself, but you know how to read people. Good salespeople, they operate in using social intelligence, whether they are aware of it or not. Because you need to be able to pick up on cues. You need to know what people's likes and dislikes are. And that's just as important, not only from a sales perspective, but also from a leadership perspective. You need to be able to pick up on the spoken and unspoken cues that people give off every single day. And if you are MIA, and if you're disingenuous, if you're, disengaged, you're not going to pick up on cues because you're too self-absorbed. That's exactly how you're going to be perceived. And you're going to miss out on an opportunity to add value to someone else because you're picking up on what's going on with them. And the moment that you start showing genuine care for someone, you increase their loyalty. You increase their ability to trust in you. And guess what else increases? Productivity and performance. So if that productivity and performance is part of your ultimate goal, doesn't it make sense to get to know and demonstrate care for the people who are entrusted in your care? I'm just saying, it makes sense. So we're going to take a look at 5 ways to bring solutions to the revolving door that you may be experiencing in your workplace. Number 1 is mindfulness. And we're talking about using social intelligent principles for solutions to that revolving door. Number 1 is mindfulness. Many of us have heard that word. Some of us practice it intentionally, knowingly, unknowingly. We're practicing mindfulness. But my word of encouragement is to do it more purposefully. Being more mindful, that causes you to be more sensitive. You want to calmly be able to interact with other people. Calmly, or a calm interaction. Doesn't necessarily mean quiet. You don't have to whisper. But you don't have to have that boisterous voice that can be threatening or intimidating. You just want to be able to engage in some dialogue with your people, but being intentional. So that goes into the next area. Number 2, empathy. You want to demonstrate that you understand what they may be going through. You're putting yourself in their shoes. Because we're talking about different ethnic groups that's working for you. We're talking about different socioeconomic levels, right? And all of these areas, all of these factor into who's showing up for work that day. You may have incredible talent, but that talent is dealing with some huge issues. And believe it or not, you probably can help solve them. Not that you're trying to be the psychiatrist or the psychologist, because that's not your area. That's not what you do. But you can listen. You can empathize with them. Let them know that I do understand what you're saying. Or put forth an effort to understand. You want to be genuine, because people can pick up when you're full of it, right? So you want to be genuine. And then if nothing else, you want to be able to refer them. Offering them a solution, offering them a way out, or some counseling that they may need. Those efforts are not, they have great meaning. They have great results. So never think that it wouldn't matter, because it matters more than you know. Because people are dealing with domestic issues, right? I mean, the list goes on and on. You have people that are battling, whether it's alcoholism, right? Drug addictions, abuse, and they come to work. And sometimes they look like they're going through hell, and most times you would never know. And it's not your job to research and dig in, although my next point is inquiry, but you do want them to know you care for them. So number 3, inquiry. You want to ask questions. And you're not running around asking everybody, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? But you do want to ask, are you okay? And you want to be able to pick up on the cues of the ones who may not seem to be okay. It's not easy to mask your feelings. Feelings have significance. Now, I always say feelings are fickle, and they are. But they do serve a purpose. They show up for a reason. So your goal is not so much to dig into, well, why you feel like that? Well, why you feeling like that? That's not the goal. But you want to at least have an understanding. And you may be able to offer some alternative. If you have somebody that's on the line and they're not fully engaged, their safety is a concern. You may want to pick up on that cue and see if there's some other place that they can be put temporarily until they can get it together. Now, of course, I don't work in a factory. I don't understand all the nuances of working a line. I do understand that it's possible you move somebody off the line and it throws everything out of whack. But there are solutions. There's something that you can do to help them. Sometimes people just need a few minutes. They just need a few minutes. So again, but it's in the inquiry. Asking these questions are vitally important. You're in a meeting. You just don't want to meet to meet. You just don't want to meet to tell people what they need to do this day, next week, and next month. You really want to have a few minutes to find out. Ask the question, are things moving smoothly in your department? What's going on? What's happening? Ask those questions and be genuine when you ask, and then wait for a proper response. Number 4, awareness. So not only is it important for the leader to be self-aware, because emotional intelligence really focuses on self-awareness, as well as being able to pick up on the emotions of someone else and having the ability to manage your emotions as well as someone else's emotions. So that's what emotional intelligence is about. And I'm not trying to elaborate on that right now. But I will say that awareness of how people feel, and we've already talked about that, and understanding some of their experiences and assuring them that they matter. Being aware that something else is going on in someone else's world outside of your own. That's what I mean by awareness. And then number 5, positivity. Bring some light and positivity into your organization. People need a good word of encouragement. You don't have to preach. You don't have to give them scriptures unless that's what you do. But my point is, you definitely want to give them something to look forward to. Give them some hope about what their future, especially in that position that they're in, that they have some hope. They can look forward to a raise, a bonus, and even if it's not money related, let them know that, we've got this year, 2020, man, we're going to have a ball. Let me share with you some of the things that we're going to do as a group, right? That we're all going to do together, that you're going to show up, bring your family, and you all are going to have whatever it is. But bring in some positivity by any means necessary. These are critical elements to solving what may be causing that revolving door, what may be causing you to lose your top talent. Well, listen, I'm Dr. E. Michelle Mickens. I just wanted to share a little nugget on social intelligence, identifying 5 problems that show up in the office, that shows up in your workplace, that shows up in organizations, and 5 solutions to dealing with retention of top talent. I thank you for your time. Please follow me on social media. I'm at Live for Change, LIVE number 4, Change, LLC. And check out the blog. The blog gives you a little more meat, a little more substance at www.live number 4, Change, LLC /blogs. And you'll see that along with other blogs that I've written about the culture in an organization. Until next time, be for real. #Leaders Matter. Take care.